The whole point of Seamlss is to make sure that you've got a good process. You know, it's very transparent, you're user-friendly. We've streamlined it. We made it really easy for the client to onboard. We've made it so that when you're onboarding the client, the data is coming through because we want it to come through in a tailored way that's managed, that's validated. Having that validated data is super critical. When you're onboarding them, you add into the HO portal, you add into the Xero Practice Manager or MyOb, whatever tool it is you're utilizing, you want valid data. So we're validating various aspects of the data during that onboarding process so that you can make sure that it's a very good outcome for you and for the clients. That's just the intro. Now we'll get into a bit of a demo. I'm just going to switch into Seamlss and we'll get started. As I was talking about those different ways that you're bringing the client on board, it could be through Pipedrive or Calendly or something like that. Depending on, you can utilize the Zapier integration with Seamlss to pull those details in. So the reason why you do that is so that you're not getting the wrong email or phone number or something like that. The data is flowing from Zapier straight into Seamlss and then back out to the client again. The reason why we do it in my firm, it's all connected through Calendly. The client books in, comes into Seamlss, and then we start onboarding them. Doesn't matter how many times you try it. At the end of the day, if it's a phone call or something like that, at some point it'll fall down because they couldn't get the email right, or their phone number was wrong, or it was miskeyed or misspelled. It happens more often than you think, but it is just another barrier to entry for the client. One would hope if they keyed it in and booked in with Calendly or Pipedrive or something like that, that the lead has come into Seamlss with the right information. And from that point, you can start onboarding them, adding in their entities, doing the verification, figure out their onboarding forms, engagement letter. But in this case, like most firms seem to have, they don't utilize those tools for utilizing Zapier. So we're just going to do it the manual way. Utilize my email address. So I'm going to use my email address with an alias for Gmail. Hopefully I spelled that right, which is again the same problem. Put in the details here. Yep, done. So here we've got the client's name, email, phone number. Now that we know he's got an entity, so we're going to add in the entity. So today we'll just use Business Edge and its company, and we'll go through with the verification. So obviously if you're adding an entity, you can utilize the agent linking process to confirm their identity because they've already been identified through the MyGov system. With Seamlss, you can obviously do it in person. Again, this depends on your process. I've found that most firms, it can be a bit overwhelming and daunting to be asking the client for their ID to enter your accounting practice. But in this case, we're going to do everything remotely, securely via Seamlss. So we'll do a source identity check, yes method using Stripe, all in the one go. I've also got a custom onboarding form for my new client, which is collecting their details as we onboard the client. It's unlikely to tax return on a new client, but you technically can do it in this system. It's unlikely that if you're onboarding them, you're going to have their pre-fill, but you can do it if you are onboarding them and you do have them on the HO portal at the same time. But in this case, I'm going to do it with the re-engagement in a minute. So we'll select the engagement letter. By default, I have one engagement letter. That's what I use. Some firms do have multiple, so you can select that. Let's add the client. That will send off an email, and the client will get a request to onboard. Here's the email request that I just sent off. That is exactly how fast it is. It says, "G'day Jack, let's get going." It's going to get started. Seamlss doesn't use passwords. It uses a secure link and an SMS to log in. So therefore, I've got an SMS code. I'm going to remember myself. I've got the code on my phone already. I'm going to log in. So that's how easy it is for clients. Clients are going to have a link. They get an SMS. They log in. It's 2FA. It's secure. And I think that is super important to remember because it all should be 2FA when you're discussing sensitive data like TFNs and stuff. So I'm just going to key in this basic details here as quickly as I can. This is usual stuff that you get from clients. Postcode. We use the same one. TFNs are validated, so you need to make sure you enter a valid TFN. Director IDs are validated up to 10 digits. Bank details are also validated in regards to BSB, so you need to make sure you put in a valid BSB. So we'll do Business Edge. The beauty of Seamlss, we talked about the validating of data. So you can see that the clients put in Business Edge. Now I'm going to pick what entity it is. So they will be able to go look it up on ABR lookup and go, yeah, here is my business. Cool, Business Edge. There's my ABN. They key in the ABN as well. It will look it up on ABR lookup. Again, it'll pull in their ACN from ABR lookup. They can put in their phone number, put in their email. I'm just going to put in some fake emails and things here. You can select from the existing address that they've already used, or they can rekey in a current one that they've got. In this case, I'm just going to use the same ones for this demonstration. Again, everything is getting validated. TFNs, I have marked them as being required. BSB is all getting validated. So in this case, with my onboarding experience, this is the crucial part about collecting data while you're onboarding them. A part of onboarding is not only collecting the individual details that go on the front of the tax returns, but it's also collecting the tax returns and information from the previous accountant. A lot of clients do get this information from the accountant, so surely they can give you that. Again, in my case, I'm just asking for different various bits of data. This could help. I'll add that. My previous accountant, Business Edge, it's at 449 Hume Street. Mail at BAE.com. So obviously the client will key in these details. This will help you with your ethical letter clearance. We'll save that, and now we'll get onto the Stripe identity. So Stripe identity is powered by Stripe. You've probably heard and used Stripe before in your business, and if not, with your clients. So start the verification process. It will all stay within Seamlss, but it's powered by Stripe. So I'm going to agree to utilizing Stripe here. Because I'm on my computer, as I said, you can use your phone. So I'm just going to scan it with my phone. Unlock, color my phone. So hopefully, as you can see, I've now scanned it. Stripe is now loading up. It's the same process with the app. It's going to continue. I'll take some photos of my ID. Apologize, but I'm just going to utilize my IDs. Always the way. So that's processing on the phone. This is the same deal with clients can do this in the same manner. They'll be able to switch from their laptop to their mobile. Our data suggests that most clients do it on their mobile phone anyway. The whole app is built to work on mobile phones for that reason, being that 90% of people are doing this via a mobile phone. We do know that most accountants access the website via desktop, which makes sense because we're all at work. So now you can see I'm still going, still loading up. Now it wants to take some photos of myself. Once it takes the photos, it's going to check the license against my selfies. And it's going to process that for us. Submitting it to Stripe. Now it's done. You can see on the screen it's done. Finally, thank you, tech, working for once. You can also ask for additional proof, so additional verification, and it can only help when you're identifying your clients. So identification process is done. Now we've got our engagement letter. You can see that Jack has added his company, his ABN. We're going to confirm, and we're going to sign. We're going to complete. So now we've got our engagement letter complete and signed. The client can go on and download their documents, like their engagement letter right here. But as you're probably all aware and utilizing, agent linking is the new in thing. If you haven't utilized it, I recommend you jump in and start doing it with Seamlss straight away. So I recommend everyone deletes the ATO resources, because if you've used it, you're probably not going to like it. But with the clients, make it easy, use our guide. So if they've used the ATO guide, good luck to them. It's quite cumbersome and ugly. But with the Seamlss guide, we integrate directly with Seamlss and guide the client. So do they have a MyGov ID? Usually, yes, they do. Have they linked it with MyGov? probably already have, especially if they've got their director IDs. And then it's going to suggest to nominate their authorized agent. So they can open up the link and just get started with that process and log in and get going. We've given them your tax agent details. We've given them step-by-step instructions in regards to pitches on how to get this done. Gives them text information with your tax agent details. And the best bit is once they've done, they can confirm. So he's going to update and mark that as linked. And then that will send an email notification to me to say that the client has finished their agent linking process. In the sense that some clients haven't done their MyGov ID, just like in my firm the other day, we had a client where they had no MyGov ID, they had very little tech experience. I think they're a 40-year-old tradie that just didn't care for it. But we sent them the Seamlss link and he stepped his way through it. He went through, got his MyGov ID, couldn't get it to a strong level, called the ATO, got it to a strong level, set it up, then did his RAM linking. Again, if he didn't have the RAM linking, this steps it through them. So if they don't have the RAM link, it says here, link up this company through these steps. It gives them the link on how to do it. Same with this client that I'm discussing now, they still struggled with that as well because they had a trust. But the beauty of Seamlss is it told them, here's the number, please call the number, get ABR to link it up. We sent it to them 4 o'clock, and then by 9 o'clock the next day, we come into the email saying that they had agent linked. I was pretty happy and pretty proud that the whole process worked, especially in that circumstances with that type of client, and I'm sure we've all had that before. So again, the client can go in, download their engagement letter, any other documents that are in the system. In their dashboard, they can view the requests that they've had and things like that. I'll come back to that later on. So that is the client onboarding experience for the client. Now we'll go back to Seamlss and the dashboard. You can see that Jack has now onboarded. Here it is here. So I'm going to go into Jack and confirm his onboarding. We'll go in and do his identity. So we'll review his, I'll review his Stripe first. Here's his outcome. So it's actually come back as invalid. Didn't like it. That's because if you look at my licenses, one, I took it on the computer, but they're actually dodgy. We've changed all of the numbers, the addresses. It's all been marked up as dodgy. So it would never have worked anyway, which is the whole point of utilizing something like Stripe. It's not valid, it's not done. So if it was valid, usually it comes up with a nice green tick and says, this guy's good. Click the button, tick the box, delete the file. So if you don't delete it, we will delete it for you. Mark that as verified and it's done. In this case, Clayton was a bit dodgy, so we will review his other documents. In this case, it's his note assessment, and we're going to mark it off and confirmed, and we're going to delete the document because it's within 7 days. Now, when you're using the source identity method, you need to check some of the documents against ATO. So check their bank account, check their address, check their details against the ATO when you're onboarding them and adding them to the portal. We did talk about agent linking. So let's just check with Jack. So Jack lied. He didn't actually do his agent linking. We're going to update that. So what we're going to do is send him a reminder, and he's going to remind him to do his agent linking. Go back into Jack. If I delete this, let's go back to his inbox. Here's his inbox. Hey, you didn't do your agent linking. It's suggesting the quick outline here. It's suggesting the company that wasn't linked, and it's got their ABN and the details because that's pulling from Seamlss as well when we've emailed them. Get the code. Oh, that code's not going to work now. It's got my wrong email SMS. But that would take him to the to that agent linking page, and then they'd be able to go step through that process again. I shouldn't have logged out. But in this case, we've onboarded him, got his engagement letter, we've added his entity to the portal, we've got all his details. We can copy the bank details down the bottom here, and then we're going to push it to Xero Practice Manager. It's going to look up and review Jack on my Xero Practice Manager. So it's looking up XPM at the moment, checking to see if any of there's a match. See if they're already in there. It's suggesting that there's a bunch of people on there. They're not him. I'm going to sync it as a new entity. The TFN's not valid because we've already used it. So there is some validation checks there. Again, the whole point of this is to make sure your XPM is your single source of truth. And if you did watch me put in the fake TFN, it was a fake TFN. Same with the company. If I set it up as a new company, it'll have the same error because it's fake. So if I sync it as a new one, it's not going to work. But it is suggesting there could be other matches. And that's the whole point of Seamlss, is to allow you to sync and push data to XPM and keep XPM as your single source of truth. So that is the onboarding of clients.